Welcome back. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet, every part of the internet. That's going to make us question reality and is also going to shake our reality. Crazy videos. Let's just start.
How long did Jesus hang on the cross? And what does 6 represent? Mad, right? A las 6, right? Represents mad. He hung on the cross for 6 hours of darkness to undo all of the darkness that human beings did. Understand? Human beings were made on the 6th day, right? He took the thorns on his head. Why? Because the ground was thorns and thistles, cursed. He took the curse on his head. Why was he pierced on the side? Because Eve picked the fruit and she came from the side of Adam, and he had to undo that. Understand? 6 places. Makes sense? Deep, right? So you got to understand, when you learn this type of stuff, right? It's really beautiful to share that, right? When did he die? On a Good Friday, which is technically the 6th day. So he died even on the 6th day. And now you understand why Satan's number, the mark of the beast, is 666. Because in the Bible, if you do anything 3 times, 666. So if you say holy, 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 it means complete holiness. Sin, sin, sin means complete sin. And that's why 666 is the mark of the beast. Why? Because if you're only flesh, 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 which is what 6 is, then you don't have a spirit. You act like a beast. You're completely a beast. No spirit. 666. Secondly, do you know why he makes 666? Because how many is in the Trinity? 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres. Right? So 3 is 666, right? It's Satan makes man 6 stand in the position of God, judging good and evil. That's 1 6. He makes man another 6 stand in the position of the Holy Spirit to not turn to God but to lead his own life. That's another 6. And then he makes us stand in the position of Jesus, trying to wash away our own sins and be good people. Understand what I'm saying? 666. He makes you, man, stand in the position of all 3 of these positions. And that creates the unholy spirit. This is the type of stuff you learn when you read the Bible.
I'll be honest with you, bro. Jesus Christ. Oh, God. I know people that hate me, that treat me better about my faith than you, and you're my best friend. One that really hurt me is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus. That one hurt me.
No, I didn't. I said you need a therapist because Jesus isn't quite doing it for you.
What do I need a therapist for then?
Jesus isn't doing it for you. And I
what do I need a therapist for?
I don't believe you're as emotionally mature as you could be.
Then what do I need Jesus for? I mean, what do I need a therapist for?
To get you to level up.
In what?
Yourself.
Some pretty
out of line comments to George about George's beliefs. The following 3 weeks have been the hardest period of my fucking life. Ironically, I defamed Jesus and God, and I felt his wrath.
I'm sorry you're going through what you're going through, but God loves you and he is still with you regardless of the situation that you put yourself in, regardless in the light that you want to paint yourself in. There is a very real God that will walk through this journey with you. Even though the whole world turned against you, that God is right near you. Neither him or me or Mike or any single person here will ever abandon a man like you, because you're not worth abandoning. And I love you.
Have you ever wondered why so many music stars start off normal and then end up satanic? It's not random, it's not style, it's not art, it's a pattern. Look at Doja Cat, she was just a sweet girl from the valley. Sam Smith? Watch his latest shows, Justin Timberlake's last video. You think that was just creative expression. No, it's something deeper. And when I started noticing it, I said to myself, this is really tripping me out. Now here's what went wrong. I spoke to people in the music business, people who've been in it for decades, and they told me, plain and simple, the frequency of music changed. In the early 1940s, they allegedly switched it from a natural tone to something else. A different megahertz, a darker frequency, one that doesn't just play in your ears, it messes with your mind. It can hypnotize, influence, control. Now ask yourself, why would they do that? Because the music isn't just music anymore, it's a tool.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
This is one hell of a strange glitch. If it even is a glitch, watch this boy literally appear out of nowhere. It can't be put down to perspective because he'd have to be the Flash to step out from behind someone or something in a millisecond. I've had to slow down the clip just so you can see just how fast he appears. Watch this.
That's crazy and creepy at the same time. What? How? Can you see it? The guy in orange. Or red.
Follow me for your dose of nightmare fuel.
What's something that you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud? Listen to this.
95% of the US population is brainwashed into believing that working 50 years of their life on a job that they don't really want to do and trading all of that for 5 to 10 years of quote-unquote freedom, but it's not really freedom because you're old and you can't even enjoy it. It is unrealistic. It is, quite frankly, stupid.
If humans evolved from apes, then why do apes still exist? If Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, who took the famous photo of him stepping onto it? NASA,
Yes, right.
one of the most advanced space agencies, somehow lost the original recordings of the moon landing. Lost them. One of humanity's greatest achievements, gone. How? And if walking on the moon was so easy in 1969, why haven't we gone back? Why did 56 countries, rivals, enemies, superpowers, all agree to one thing? That no one can freely explore Antarctica. What's there? What are they hiding? How did ancient civilizations without modern tools build structures so perfect they still can't be replicated today? Why do Egyptian artifacts show images?
But then I think ancient, how do you call it, structures can be replicated today. I mean, with the technology that we have, but then probably nobody knows what they are going to use it for. Probably they know, but then it's going to, call a lot of attention to whatever that they want to do right now. But then I feel it can be done right now. I feel the pyramid can be built again if it wants to be built. Like if, organizations or countries or corporations come together, I think they can redo it again. I don't think it can never be done ever again. But then what will be the use for it? That's the problem, right? And probably they don't want to bring in crazy things back again, because it would, I feel it's going to hinder their power. So yeah, they are not going to bring in any crazy things again, but then it can still be done. That's what I believe.
That look like spacecraft? Why do dragons appear in every ancient culture, across every continent, and even in the Bible? Coincidence? And why is there a connection between the pineal gland, the so-called third eye, and the pine cone symbols found in ancient Egyptian art? Why is the entertainment industry obsessed with symbols linked to demons, secret societies, and occult rituals? And in a world so advanced, so intelligent, so scientific, why are we sicker, sadder, and more controlled than ever before? Ask yourself. Question everything. And if you think you know the answer, prove it.
A woman inserted a brown trout fish into her coochie.
What? Why? Why will you do that? Why?
This is on video.
Why will you do that? Like, this is crazy. Why? For what reason? Like, what scientific reason would you want to do that for? I mean, it's crazy. Why will you do that? Like, I'm still trying to understand it, but I don't understand. Why would you? Why? Like, what was the reason for it? This is crazy. This is crazy. Why? Like, I'm trying to understand it. I don't understand this. I don't understand this, bruh.
She did that until it was no longer alive. I'm telling you this because in my last video I tell you about this woman that happens to not be from the United States. Shocking, I know. But I had said that she did inappropriate acts with a brown trout fish, and I apparently did not know how inappropriate these acts were. But the lovely people that, frequent my page, somebody commented and said, like, this is what she did with the trout. And I didn't see that in the original article. So I did a little bit more digging, which I should have done in the first place. And apparently the video that these people took actually entered the internet, and thank the Lord that I didn't see it, but other people that did. I got the description. If you saw the video, I'm sorry. Obviously, the woman that did this being charged. The man that videotaped it was already charged. But this really does bring a new meaning to sleeping with the fishes.
I don't understand why we have to pay to live on a planet we were born on. Think about it. You didn't sign a contract when you took your first breath. You didn't agree to rent space on Earth. So why does every part of survival, food, water, land, come with a price tag? And here's the real question. Who are we even paying? Who decided they owned the land, the water, the resources? Who stood up one day and said, "This all belongs to me and you owe me for existing"? Now look at water. Covers most of the planet. Falls from the sky, essential for life. Yet somehow people are dying of thirst. Instead of wasting billions on war, we could build desalination plants and give fresh water to everyone. The technology exists, but do we use it? No. Because if people could take care of themselves, they wouldn't be controlled. That's the truth. Scarcity is a lie. There's enough food, enough land, enough resources for everyone. But if people weren't desperate, governments, corporations, and banks would lose power. So they manufacture struggle. They make sure you're always working, always paying, always needing. You're not just paying to live, you're paying to stay in your cage.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
Crazy.
Sir, hold on.
So you know something? This is a 3-year case. If you don't leave here, I'm going to fuck with you. Just do it. I'm going to sit right there and you're going to leave me the fuck alone. You got that?
I'm sorry, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
No, sir, there's no problem. I promise you, everything's fine. We need you both to go away, please.
No, you can't tell us to go away. I'm asking to see your ID, please.
I know the law. Now I have to see my ID. Once I'm seated, the two places you can check it are TSA and when I'm providing my boarding pass. I'm already seated. Please leave.
Sir, I appreciate that you're staying calm, but we're going to need some compliance. We're going to have to elevate this and possibly take off the plane. So go ahead and just show our ID. It's no big deal.
Getting on this.
It's nice that you know the law, but I think an officer of the law would know it better than you.
And
when I ask for your ID, I expect to see it.
And I appreciate your saying, but you need to show this lady some respect, and I will remove you from this plane if need be. So don't go around making declarations you can't back up. Just go ahead and show her ID. And move along, get this plane off the ground.
I wanted to ask, in a situation like this, what will you do? Because this is crazy. It's like they are disturbing him. It's like they are bothering him. And he's telling you guys what he thinks he knows. And I think he has given out every necessary thing that he has to give out, but then they are still trying to, make his life miserable on the plane. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below.
I promise.
We won't if you show us your ID.
And you're definitely not going to threaten me, sir. Why is it?
I physically cannot.
You don't have it on your person?
You don't need to see it right now.
Yes, I do. I'm trying to do my
The
job.
only place you needed to check it was TSA and when I provided my boarding pass.
Sir.
I'm already seated. Everything's fine.
You need to identify yourself when requested. This is an airport. We have a lot of international and domestic flights coming in and out of this. This is a very important hub, so if you can't comply with the nice lady's request, then I'm going to have to step in, and I don't really want to do that. She's doing a fine job. If you can't show her ID, so do you have her ID, or did you show? So you showed it. So you showed it at all those places you mentioned.
Yes.
So you have it, and you can just show it and end this right now.
I can't do that right now.
You can or you won't.
Why are you making this so difficult? We're just trying to do our jobs, and we can all move on if you just show your ID.
Please just comply with the lady.
I can't do that. I need you guys to please just leave.
We're
Everything's
not
fine.
We're trying to do our jobs, sir. Please show your identification.
If you don't, we're going to have to escalate this to something else. Do you have any weapons on your person? Where's your luggage, sir?
I don't have luggage at this time.
You don't. Okay, so you're traveling by yourself, and you won't show your ID, and you're kind of standoffish. So you can understand why that would be suspicious and raising some red flags here.
I understand your point of view, but I really need you to just walk away.
I
really need you to just show your ID, please, sir.
Yeah, she's been very sweet, but I understand she's getting frustrated, and honestly, you even requesting anything is kind of really, to be quite frank, pissing us off. We need you to comply. If you have a lack of
Position to tell us what to do, sir. You need to show your identification.
I am the law, and she is an extension of the law. This is her plane, and her and the captain.
Is the extension of the law.
Yeah, this
Airplane? Yes, absolutely.
absolutely. She has jurisdiction. Are you going to comply, or do we have to get the captain involved, or I can just remove you myself? I just need to see your ID. I know you've already showed it several places throughout this scenario.
Bush is one of the most heinous criminals that's ever walked on the face of the earth. Bush is the man who's been a CIA agent since his college days. He's a member of the Skull and Bones, the Russell Trust. He was initiated in a casket with a ribbon tied around his genitalia, which symbolizes that he's a priest in the temple of Isis. A pagan, this guy. This man is a member of the mystery schools.
Well, he has the outward appearance of a good Christian, church-going Christian, no?
They do whatever they have to be approved by the people, but in secret, they're not at all. This is a man who practices pagan, religious rituals, magic. Doesn't matter what you think of all these things. I'm just telling you, this is what he does in secret. He is the man who, when he was chief executive officer, when he was president of the offshore division of Zapata Oil, organized and began the first large-scale drug smuggling operations into this country. George Bush is the one responsible for the drugs on the streets. And the war against drugs is not a war against drugs, it's a war against the Bill of Rights. We've already lost the Fourth Amendment in this war.
I had $13 in my bank account, and I needed like $2,000 for a deposit the next day. And I made a video on my phone. I said, all right, God, I need you to come through with a buzzer beater right now. I woke up the next day, $3,000 was in my bank account.
Wow. Just because you asked for support online?
No, I got Zelled to me. I wasn't even fundraising yet. That was the thing, I wasn't even fundraising yet.
You didn't even ask yet?
No, it got Zelled to me. This guy that I did homeless ministry with felt led by the Lord to send me $3,000. That was enough for me to pay my down payment, first month's rent, and eat that month.
Wow.
I was like, oh snap, God, you want me here to set up right with my camera the next day? And I was like, man, you hit the buzzer beater, God, like praise God. And then a couple months later, I ended up meeting one of my mentors, Marcus McFarlane, and then he was just like, hey man, just travel with me. So I spent a large portion of 2023 traveling with Marcus and going to these events, rehab centers, teen challenge rehabs, churches, conferences, the Amish community. I was going everywhere with him, and he was fathering me and teaching me, and it was amazing. And then in May of 2023, I had a dream about what we do today.
I was falsely accused of sexual assault.
Interesting.
Thrown in prison, bailed out on $250,000 bail with no criminal record. I hired a private detective. We learned that this person had done it many times in other states. They drugged me in the bar on camera, multiple eyewitnesses.
Did the person in question go to prison after?
They had zero interest in prosecuting a girl who made the story up, never showed up to court again. I had to fight for 11 months, and then when I was able to prove it with video evidence, they just dismissed me.
There are so many girls that do go through that, and to falsely accuse someone that they didn't do it, and then nothing happens to them. I think that's ridiculous.
Well, the problem is the women that do the false accusing, they really hurt the girls that really were hurt. I'm not going to let one evil person, when there's 100 great people and one bad person, I'm not going to let that person ruin my outlook on life. Yeah, are you going to be a little more cautious? I used to consider myself street smart until that happened. I just enjoy life more now with a little bit of caution. But
what would be your advice to maybe young men out there?
If a girl's throwing herself at you too much, you might be feeling yourself. It might make you a little bit confident, but just be wary. But not all girls are sweet, and some of them have bad agendas.
The saying that you probably always heard your grandpa or grandma say when you're growing up, goats are from the devil's lantern, is what they would say when they were trying to get you to go to bed. This is where it comes from, because if it's dusk or just barely into night and you light a fire and there's goats around, they are going to flock to it like moths on a Twinkie. And so it's just super interesting how they're just memorized by fire. And if you look in their eyes, you can see the flame reflectioners in their eyes as well, which is a little spooky and a little creepy. I don't want to be overly superstitious, but there is something going on with goats. You have to admit it. I want to know from you guys if you've ever had strange experiences with goats. My grandpa always says that he did. My grandpa also, for some reason, always had to live pretty far away from elementary schools. I don't understand why, and I wasn't allowed to go over to his house.
How wealthy was King Solomon? Well, the Bible tells us that he was the wealthiest man alive at his time. One of the stories that we're told is that the Queen of Sheba comes to him and gives him 120 talents of gold. So a talent is about 75 pounds. You do all the math. Like, this gift would have been worth hundreds, more than $400 million in equivalent today. And then we're told that he's sending expeditions down to Ophir, a place where they would get gold. And he's bringing back 420 talents of gold, which would have been in the billions each after years and years of this. And so this guy was a mega billionaire in the old world. He expanded a kingdom that went from Dan to Beersheba all the way into Moabite territory. I mean, this guy was astronomically wealthy. And here's the thing, like, he had a massive copper operation down in Edomite territory that archaeologists have affirmed. He built a city for expeditions that would go down and bring back gold from the place of Ophir. We have receipts in Israel that show that they were trading and getting gold from Ophir that are written on clay tablets. Like, this guy was astronomically wealthy for his time.
All the criminal beings on this world, they hate only one thing, and that's people. To get access to money, you need to deal. I became an independent entrepreneur. I started also be involved in currency trading of who was not with tax black money. So I became, step by step, a servant of the big money. They start to spot you, like, hey, here's a bright guy. Then you start to work for banks, for central banks, for multinationals, for governments, for what they call now organizations, and all secret services. And on top, churches. They are not elite. The people I worked for in the end of the days, you're talking roughly about 8,500 people on this world who run the show. The monster of more. And there comes Lucifer in. Because we are talking here about interdimensional things. This 8,500 became my friends. Most of them were going through the same hell. They did it in a different way, different bloodlines, but they have also a lot of misery in their lives. This is not about humans. This is about a very evil dark force who really enjoy to destroy all life on this planet.
This is how to get a good night's rest every night before bed. Start utilizing your microwave.
The microwave actually blocks all of the signals from your devices.
Now, if you don't actually have a, microwave,
Grab you some good old-fashioned foil and go ahead and get your phone all sealed up nice and right.
And here you have a device that cannot be this is way better than airplane mode, all right? This is going to save you from a lot of struggle and Jimmy Struggle trouble. I mean, if you really wanted to take it to a paranoid level, Now, you also want to disconnect the Wi-Fi box before you go to bed and take all your devices and throw them in the wave. Hopefully this makes it to that algorithm. JacobsLake.com for the Health Bible, as well as everything that you need to be able to heal and live correctly in a world that is incorrect. And that's how you get a good night's rest. JacobsLake.com.
I'll try it.
Years ago, Burger King aired an ad poking fun at McDonald's. In the ad, Ronald McDonald sneaks over to Burger King to buy a burger, implying McDonald's food isn't tasty. McDonald's quickly hit back with an ad showing a group of boys always stealing a blonde boy's McDonald's food. The clever blonde boy hides his food in a Burger King bag, and no one steals it anymore, implying no one likes Burger King. Then McDonald's put up a billboard with two signs. One said McDonald's straight ahead 5 kilometers, and the other said Burger King 258 kilometers away, suggesting McDonald's is everywhere and Burger King is hard to find. Burger King responded quickly. They added to the ad showing a couple buying large coffees at McDonald's to stay awake for the 258-kilometer drive to Burger King, thanking McDonald's for helping them get to delicious Burger King food.
Pay attention. I don't have much time. Birds are not what you think they are. They are spies. This has been proven before, but they don't want you to know. It started in 1967 with the invention of primitive models. They watch from above, they charge on the power lines. they
Look right here, please.
The idea that thousands of people are reported missing in national parks every year makes people lose their minds. There's a phenomenon called missing 411. There's this idea that people are mysteriously disappearing near national parks and cave systems in the US. It's the idea that they're all somehow mysteriously related and connected through these extensive cave systems, underground tunnels underneath the surface of the US. And they exist. Like, that's not a conspiracy theory. Those caves are there. The Mammoth Cave National Park is the longest known cave system in the world. It's like a labyrinth. Some of them, you don't even know that there's hundreds of miles of mapped passages underground. You just have these weird steps leading into this tiny entrance that looks like a hobbit's entrance into the ground. And then when you walk in, you're underground. And it just opens up into this like 3-story auditorium of curved rocks. And then there's these jagged rocks coming down from the ceiling looking like massive deadly chandeliers. And then it opens up to like a 5-story cathedral. I mean, these caves are massive.
Damn.
Welcome to the cave systems in the US. Most people have seen the viral picture of the map of the people that have gone missing and the map of the US cave systems. People are like, look at them, they look identical. And it has fueled a ton of conspiracy theories. Are they getting lost? Is there something luring them into the caves? Why can't they be found? Are there people living in the caves? Now, to be fair, the map comparison is truly fascinating, but it is a bit overstated. So the map that shows people who have gone missing in the US, it's not exhaustive. That map only depicts people who have gone missing in remote areas near national parks. Most national parks have cave systems. It's not causation, it's more correlation.
Okay, so here's what's happening, and this is one of the main reasons that women are suffering. The way you view men, the way you view relationships in the world, it is entirely wrong. Now, my brain thinks visually and in analogy, so I just took off my glasses, right? As we are being raised by society, our parents, and culture, it tells us what is important and it tells us how to view the world. It says you want male validation. It says you need and desire the love of a man. And when a man tells you who and what you are, you take that in and you say, okay, this is how I build my sense of self. Many of you are incredible, but because this planet is so messed up, you are partnering with men who do not deserve you, and you become so wounded by something that is less than you. I cannot accurately explain how truly tragic that is. Imagine being a divine light being, and you're born on a planet, and you are attracted to the opposite gender, but that gender is so dysfunctional. But everything in your culture and society normalizes it. And now you need this dysfunctional thing to love you. And that love is supposed to tell you something about yourself, but you can never really get it. And each man you meet wounds you. Do you understand how tragic that is? Now let's imagine one day you put on some glasses and these glasses correct your vision and they show you exactly what the hell everything is. So here is what we have been doing as women. We have been looking at everything wrong to the degree that we have been pedestalizing men and reducing ourselves. What would happen if you had an entirely new vision and a new way of looking at life where you elevated yourself, you saw your own divinity and your own greatness, and now you're looking at men and you say to them, you have to prove something to me. If you are going to enjoy my body, if you are going to enjoy spending your life with me, you have to show me something. Because I know and love myself so well that I will not allow someone into my life who is not worthy, because I know what the cost of that is. And
I understand that, but then I think it's also vice versa, bro. It's not only for women. I think some women also, you know, are not worth being with some men. So it's vice versa. It's not just only about women. So yeah, I think she has to be corrected.
Cost of that is losing the idea of myself. The cost is insanity, and I'm using that word because a lot of us have been driven insane by men who should never have had the privilege of doing life with us.
The same way a lot of men are also in prisons and also mad because of what women did to them. So I mean, you shouldn't just, you know, say it on only one side, but then balance it so that it makes sense. Balance it, like generalize it so that it makes sense. It's not only one party, like females. They also, females do it to males. So it's something of a human nature problem, right? So I mean, say it generally so that we will all, learn something from this. Don't just say it in the female aspect. Let's get back to the video.
The cost is you don't even get to fulfill your purpose. Whatever you came here to do and be, well, you've gotten on board with what this man wanted, and now you're his wife and you're having his kids, and he's cheating on you, and you're exhausted because he doesn't even know how to share the mental load. Do you understand that as women, we need to correct our vision? We need to correct how we see.
Hold on.
What kind of ship is this?
What the fuck this is? Dude, this ain't Lego. Fuck me. Bro, I thought you got saved, bro. I thought you saved. You need to repent.
I thought you got saved, bro.
Bro, I told you I had to wait today. Now I got to sneak in this bitch at 6 o'clock. Hell no.
He's also laughing crazy. That's a huge human being, like an NBA player. So I mean, but not that of a giant like the Asian giants, but then yeah, a huge human being.
What do you mean by devil music? What if I told you there are levels to this thing we call music? Not just beats or lyrics, but something deeper. I'm talking about vibrational frequencies, real sounds that can control how you feel without you even knowing. You can walk into a church, yeah, even a holy place, and they're playing these frequencies. Not hymns, frequencies, ones that stir emotions, ones that make you cry, make you give, make you believe. Some mega churches, they run sound waves that can mess with your head. They use it to pull money, to push beliefs. And it works because it's science. Sound can move the heart or mess with the mind. But it doesn't stop in church. Ask yourself, who made the music you love? What's their intent? What's that song really feeding you? Is it lifting your soul or quietly breaking it down? Are you thinking darker thoughts now? Feeling emptier? That's devil music, not fire and pitchforks, just hidden control wrapped in rhythm. It's not about what you hear. It's about how it changes you.
This is just a theory, not a fact.
I stopped eating pork, and I'm learning. Remember that pigs don't sweat. This is why the Bible tells us not to eat the pork or the pig. Porky the pig. These animals are created to clean up the land and its nearest dwelling place. It's not actually mentioned one time as food, in the Bible at least. There was a time when none of us ate the pig or the swine. It's also a parable because of the critters that like to hang out inside of particular animals that were
not to consume. Why we're told to eat animals like the lamb, the cow, the deer, the goat. These animals chew on grass all day long in nature. That's all that they're gonna eat. And when you go to eat that animal that ate only the grass, you get the natural compounds that are found inside the grass. The vitamins, the minerals, but it comes also in the form of the amino acids that are found inside of the animal too. That's why it's so important to follow these protocols, because it helps to fix that copper deficiency that 9 out of 10 plus people have. Remember, copper helps to rebuild your brain, which helps to rebuild your mind. And that's why we made you all the health Bible, everything that you need to know, like salt every offering, Leviticus 2:13. We don't want you to know that either. That's why we made you the book, jacobsling.com, for everything you need.
Snake mouth is a feature seen in a lot of businessmen that deal with high sums of money. According to Joey Yap, it's where the lip protrudes, which makes the lips appear sunken and very thin. It's an undesirable feature because it's said that people that have this don't like other people. They see the worst in people, and therefore they take advantage of others. They're always trying to screw someone over before that.
I think my dad has a lips like this. Crazy, right? Yeah.
That person can screw them over. They're said to be very sly, very cunning, and to lie and cheat their way to success.
We have been together for 4 years. We have 2 kids, and he has worked so hard to provide everything we could ever ask for. He is a very good man, and he works very hard to give us a good life, which I really appreciate him for. But recently, it just feels like I am existing in the marriage alone. I thought marrying a rich man would be great, but apart from being a provider, my husband is a very boring man. I look at my friends' love lives, and it's just very much interesting compared to mine. They are not rich like us, but their husbands still create time for them to go out, go on vacations, and have fun. But my husband never does any of it. And anytime I bring it up to him, he just says, if that's what I want, then that's what we will do. But that pisses me off even more because I don't want to be the one to tell him what to do. I want him to do it because he wants to, and I want him to surprise me with something to at least make our marriage romantic and interesting. He tells me he is working so we will have stability. He says I should be grateful for what we have, but I keep wondering if I'm supposed to be grateful for a life I don't even enjoy. And sometimes I try to think that maybe it's because we are both from different generations, because he is 46 and I am 24, but it doesn't help.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. So young.
Just need some guidance because I want to know if this is a phase in marriage that ends up passing, because I don't think I am ready to spend the rest of my life like this.
Are you happy to see him when he comes home?
No.
Yeah.
And I want...
TikTok, quick question for you. How come airplanes have emergency exits with no parachutes? Like, where are we supposed to go if something happened in the air? What are we supposed to do if we're 30,000 feet in the air with an emergency exit with no parachutes? Can anybody answer that? Because people on TikTok seem to know everything. But they give you those little things that come from the overhead. What you're supposed to... Shut up! What are we supposed to do with that? Breathe until we... Please, can somebody tell me? Because this makes no sense to me. This is how it's supposed to look if something happened.
Yeah, right.
In an airplane.
Makes sense.
We're supposed to all be able to escape like this. But instead, they gave us those overhead things where we go... Shut up! I'm just keeping it real. It's something to think about, guys. Can anybody answer this? Let's just say something happened, and now the plane is on an emergency landing. What are we supposed to do? Jump in the ocean? Now, y'all already know that the A's are in a W. But ain't nobody trying to go in the W. I don't know, guys. Something to think about. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just wondering, what are we supposed to do in a situation like that? That's all I'm doing, is just asking a question. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think. I'm out.
Can we I just do the question again, and then you can pop in? Okay. You mentioned actively spreading AIDS?
There was a unit in from SIMA that one of the things was that we went into African countries.
And how was that done exactly?
Through inoculation.
Through vaccines?
Yeah, through vaccines. Pretending to inoculate people and that type of thing.
The idea being to kill black people?
Yeah, to eradicate black people. You must understand the concept was that AIDS was a killer. It was incurable at that point in time, so it was led to believe that if infected people, it was the quick, non-militaristic approach to eliminate black people.
And that is something you know for a fact, that AIDS was actively being spread to other countries?
Yes, to African countries.
Because you know, us South Africans, when we band together for something like this, then the guys, they better think twice. So I wanted to go and see how much damage you guys had done.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Why would you do that? Like, this is so evil. Like, crazy. I mean, well, we've come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any content that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.